Classes in session, this is the show where knowledge is profit, just so you know. Army Piper, OC Guy, and Trade Fly, bringing crypto news to the whole alumni. It's the word on the market, the one-stop shop for the info you need every time that it drops. The go-to show that you need right now. This is Piper Academy, it's all going down, let's go.
Yo, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. This is the show where we bring you guys the charts, the news, and everything you need to know, like housing data and when is Bitcoin going to finally pump. We're breaking all that down today on Piper Academy, guys. Let's get it. Classes in session. Good morning, everyone, and welcome right here to Piper Academy. This is the Morning Market Report, and I've got my co-host on today, both of them in the house. We need a show when we have FD White on here with us, and then it's the quadfecta. I'm just going to put that out there. But we got Trade Fly, we got the OC guy in here with me today. What's up, fellas? How have you been? Trade Fly, glad to have you back. OC, you're the loyal static, and I love it. So, guys, what's up? How you guys doing?
I just want to let you know he called you static. Hey, it's good to be back. Happy Friday to everyone. Hope everyone is doing well out there. Love being here. I have missed you guys so much. We are doing it up right on the Crypto Nightcap in the evenings, but you know, the morning show is where the heart is at times. So, hey, it's good to be here. And I'm ready to talk some news and TA and just mix it up with my boys. So we got the trifecta. I'm excited. Let's do it.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Now I'm going to have to do the Ferris Bueller outro at the end of this. I'm just saying.
Yes.
OC, how you doing today, man? Did you see the thumbnail?
I did. This is where it pumps. It seems like I feel like I already know what you're going to be pulling up, which is going to be the Eric Wallen chart. And I also see a couple of things.
That's one.
Chart. Also, of course, I'm bringing up Bird at this point. I'm bringing up copper. I'm bringing up gold. I want to also be in the meantime you give the news. I'm going to be just looking at a couple of quarters in the market of traditional markets, just to also kind of like grasp a little bit of what's happening across the global movements, and maybe have a little bit of that spicy possibilities throughout this morning. But other than that, doing great. Trade Fly, great to have you back. It's always a pleasure to have you here. And as always, we are ready to rock and roll.
Let's do it. Hey, Average Crypto Joe has already asked for Aerodrome, so can you go ahead and put that on our list, OC, and we'll get to that. Not a whole lot of news today, but we do have to lay out these are the reasons that I think we're going to pump, but we got more pain coming. Just so you guys know, we got more pain coming before then. Matter of fact, there's some options closing today. That I think some manipulators don't want to pay out, and they're going to hurt some feelings today. So I think we could have a little bit of red today, even already starting off that way as it's going. But we also got housing data that we're going to be looking at today, guys. Housing. Like I said on the in the description of today's video, is that the next play on investment? Trade Fly, you and I are definitely going to talk about that, because it looks like we might get some juicy prices coming in on housing in the months and maybe year ahead. So we're going to look at that too. Let's go ahead. Let's jump into the news and let's talk about that first, because I need to break down some data for you guys before we get into the why of Bitcoin, right? The why and the when. So let's jump over there and let's do that. News, guys, brought to you by Decrypted.tax. Ernest is our trusted tax official here at the Piper Academy. And if you guys have any questions, I know like Buck, for example, in our community, he had a question that I said, you know what, hit Ernest up. It's not going to cost you anything. And he's going to give you some information that could help you out. You know, it was just a question about how to tax harvest and stuff like that. So guys, don't hesitate. Check the link down below, and you can hit him up, ask him questions, and you'll see how competent he is. And when tax season comes around, that will be your guy. Let's go ahead and jump into what looks like we got a super chat here. We got T Will Dropping it's a super emoji. So I appreciate you, man. Super sticker there from T Will Line, Man for Hire. It's a cup of coffee and he says tired. Well, we're going to wake you up, man. Let's go. So let's get into this data here, guys. Fear and greed today sitting at 27. I apologize for all you people that just got blinded. Fear and greed don't make a black chart. They only have white. That's it. There's no dark setting for this. 27 on the fear and greed. I did tell you I'm okay with the sitting here, and I think it's going to ping down to extreme fear sometime in the next 30 days. So definitely need to keep an eye on that. Jumping over here to the crypto bubbles, guys. This is daily. HTX. Let's go ahead and click that over here. HTX is up quite a bit. It was flat for a long time, and then it just pumped up. It's up right now, 11.4% on the daily. Aave up 5.2, still doing some stuff. Helium still doing some stuff. It's up 4.4. Let's jump down here though and look at these top 20 here. Bitcoin sitting at 58.6, sitting under 59,000. I still think that a $45,000 to $43,000 Bitcoin is in play sometime over the next couple of months. Why? Because that's where all the support is at, and we don't have much from where we are. Where we are right now is the last line of major support until that level, guys. So we're going to look at that. What's spending too much to be below. Yeah, it's true. That is very true, man. Ethereum sitting at $2,600 right now. It is up on the hourly. We did get a little hourly bounce here, but it is down 1.8% on the daily. Everything you can see pretty much up red on the daily except for Tron. It is up 0.4% there. Big movers in the past hour, though. Those 1.8s, that's a pretty hefty move in the past hour. Chainlink get a 2.1% move, still down 3.4% for the day. And then where's my Caspa? Caspa sitting at number 21 because I love my CAS, just so you know. Sitting at 21 right now, moved up another position from that 22. It is up 1.1% in the past hour, down 0.4% on the daily. Still up for the week, though, guys. It's looking pretty good there. Let's jump into these liquidations. Take a look here. I want to put this on the 24-hour. First of all, you can see here, this is a lot of liquidations going on there in the long side. Longs are getting liquidated. Looking here, longs, guys, $165.7 million dollars in longs there in the past 24 hours, just in longs, 47.4 million in shorts there. In the past 24 hours in total, 61,423 traders got liquidated, and the total liquidations came in at $213 million total. Largest single liquidation happened on Binance. It was Bitcoin for $10.8 million. Let's jump into this economic data, and let's talk about the housing stuff that I've been talking about, because this came out this morning, 6:30. One of the big ones here, building permits, guys. Building permits, this is just what it sounds like. It is permits to build, right? Refers to the approval given by local jurisdictions before the construction of new or existing buildings can legally occur. So when we look at this data here, guys, it says building permits in the United States fell by 4% to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 1.39, we'll say 1.4 million in July 2024, lowest in 4 years and below the market estimate of a 1.43. Jump back here, you'll see that. Building permits was consensus and forecast to be 1.43, 1.45. Came in at 1.396, well below that consensus and forecast there. Building permits for month over month also was projected to be down, come in down 0.4%. So keep that in mind. 0.4% was actually down 4% to the downside for the month over month. And then housing starts. This is brand new builds, guys. If you look here, housing starts refer to the number of new residential, these are houses, new residential construction projects that have begun during any particular month, okay? So when we go back and look at this data, it says housing starts was at 1.329 million. They said, hey, it's going to be about 1.33, 1.32. Static, maybe a little bit better. No. How about a whole lot down? Missing that mark by about 100,000 there, if not more. And then housing starts from month over month, guys. They projected that it was going to be down. Okay, it's going to be down a little bit. It's going to be down 2%. No, down 6.8%. Now, something that I do want to pull off in here and show you if the data is in here. One of the things that I was watching earlier, and I'm not sure. Actually, let's just we'll go to the Trio Cam. We'll talk about this because that's pretty much the data that I wanted to show you guys. But it was that multi homes went up and single family homes went down. So, and there was a significant amount. So, guys, these numbers that we're seeing on this data actually is showing you both of those combined. And so that means that single family homes went down a lot if multifamily homes came up. And multifamily homes, that means like apartments and stuff like that. So renters are where it's at right now. That is what's being built because people can't afford homes, and the buying, the purchasing of homes is slowing down across the country in a lot of places. I do believe we're going to see falling house prices continue with this. And I started talking about this a couple of months ago, how many homes were sitting unsold in the South. It's starting to spread out everywhere else. And so we were talking about it here quite a while ago. Tradefly, I'd love to hear your input on this. What do you think about this? On that side, and then also big shout out to BC Port Corp, gifted one Piper membership, and it went to DJ. Is that it? DJ, awesome, perfect, appreciate it. Oh, BJ, there it is. BJ was gifted a membership. I see it right there on my screen. So yeah, congratulations, and I appreciate you, BC Port Corp, man. You are a rock. I love it. Yeah, your thoughts on this? What are you thinking on this housing thing, on this housing front? Because it's not looking pretty. I won't lie, it's not looking very pretty at all. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so it's very mixed, right? You definitely don't want to have excess inventory, and it's even more weird to have excess inventory and renting still be a higher priority than buying. That's a recipe for disaster because that is really what you don't see. So it really correlates directly to builders not wanting to continue to build. And that's why you're seeing such a large drop and not just a incremental drop. You're seeing a 4% drop. That's crazy when you really think about it. That's quite significant. I have no idea why I'm getting the thumbs up emoji. Maybe I'll just stop with all my hand emotions here. But SoCal is definitely a little bit different as well. We've kind of talked about that. We're kind of inverse of what's going on. We actually have low inventory here where I'm at in particular. So, our prices are actually starting to come down though. And the most helpful part for us, because we were actually looking at getting into a new home, was the interest rates. They just came down a little bit, and that's been very, very helpful. So one of my criteria for even getting into a house is I refuse to have a mortgage that is more than the rental rate. All right. So just up until this month, I mean, like the last couple weeks or a week ago, the rental market was actually lower than what it would be to have a mortgage of a reasonable house. We'll say a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, a reasonable house for a single family. And so now that the interest rates have come down, it's now flipped a little bit. And now we're actually thinking about, okay, maybe we could actually do this because I'm not going to get into something.
I got a question. Was that on a new home?
It was on a new home. Yes.
Okay. So that's interesting because Crypto Billy, also in that business, said they have like a 4.875 right now that they're offering. But if you actually look here, and I want to pull this up here and show it real fast. Actually, let's go over to news. Nope, you're not on there yet. We'll go over to here. If you go here, and you guys can put this on your charts, by the way, just so you know. You can put economic data on TradingView, and then you can look at this. And if I jump over here and we take a look at this mortgage rate on the 30-year, switch to the weekly. Got it. Thank you very much. It's actually sitting at 6.49 right now on the weekly. 6.49% is the national average right now. So that being said, these new home builders have a lot more leverage to entice and offer lower rates than what the average is in the United States right now. So we still need those other rates to come down on the national average so that people that are in older homes, which typically can be sold for cheaper than new home builds, right? Those hit the market also, and we're not seeing those yet because new builds right now are outperforming on older homes, and
it makes
forcing
way
people.
More sense right now.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to point that out there.
Crypto Joe, I don't know if you saw this comment. He said, "I'm a contractor, and we're building MDUs because we can rent them for 2 years and not pay the capital gains tax." That of note. I saw this for the first time. It's the wildest thing I've seen in a long time. There is a brand new neighborhood, single family homes for rent. Let that sink in. For rent. The
That's
entire neighborhood is for rent. I've never
well,
seen anything like it.
I'd seen some stuff like that for that BlackRock had bought, like a company tied to BlackRock, I should say, bought a whole bunch of homes, and we're doing that also. But
Yeah.
someone said that a lot of the big companies are buying up these homes. Actually, the national report that I read recently said that two no 3 out of 4 75% was one. It was like 72% of all homes in America right now are owned by individuals, not companies. Yes, companies own a bunch, but at the end of the day, it is still your average, like Tradefly. How many properties do you have? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah.
people just like you, and that is the majority of them out there.
It is the
However,
majority. I
when there
just think that
is this
that number's
available
closing.
market, yes, when there's this available market in areas, I think that certain areas are way more bought up by corporations and industry than retail. But I think on a national average, when they look at that national average number, yeah, there's probably, Joe Bob that lives in Kansas, has 3 homes in his small town. That's part of the numbers that are in that. But when you get to those big metropolitan areas, I think that's where that number gets skewed for sure. So,
Yeah. You want to hear
yep.
something interesting too? Some of the like Zillow and some of those. It wasn't Zillow in particular. Actually, I think Zillow might have been one of them. They were buying homes, but it was like they FOMO'd in because the market was pretty high here a couple years ago, especially during the COVID time, and it was like these institutions were buying homes and they got wrecked, bro. They got wrecked. Like they actually lost, and I think Zillow actually got rid of that part of their business altogether. So it's up and down with this institutional buying that everyone's scared of because a lot of them actually they got shook out themselves.
Hmm.
So something to take note of. They're not all that smart as you think they are. Some of them.
Yeah, Kyle Phil said the rates are very advertising friendly, and he's right on that. It absolutely gets people's attention, especially if they've been wanting a house for a while, and they're like, at 7%. I hear 7%. I was on the news, and all of a sudden they see 4.8. That looks really attractive on an advertisement. So, and then Buck talking about property taxes are pushing people out of Texas. You guys have no idea how much my property tax in El Paso. I'm gonna caveat, I don't pay that, but I'm going to touch on this. In El Paso, Texas, we have one of the highest rates in the nation is in El Paso, for El Paso County of Texas. It's like 2.3%. It's ridiculous, guys. It is so high, and I see it all the time in my next door app. People complaining about the property tax here, but that is in Texas across the board because they don't pay state tax, but they have definitely have high property tax. But he said the veterans all need to get together. It's time for us to make money because if you are 100% disabled from the VA for combat service disability, right? It doesn't take much. It doesn't mean that you're 100% like you're, in a wheelchair or you can't work. It is like things like PTSD and traumatic brain injury and, degeneration through all your joints and contact with the burn pit, all the stuff you see on the news, those nightmare stories. All real stuff. If you're 100% under the VA, you don't pay property tax in Texas. It's one of like 17 states that has that. So I do not pay property tax in Texas. California, don't have that. Just so you know, it's capped out. Tradefly.
Hmm.
They capped that stuff. They said, yeah, we ain't letting somebody live in one of our homes with no property tax. You can't live in a multi-million-dollar home with no property tax. And then I go, that's a 1-bedroom house there, guy. Okay. Sorry, I gotta attack your California Tradefly. I'm sorry, man. Let's get into the Bitcoin chart.
It's all you.
Go for it. Run free, little Piper. Let's get into Buck said for all of us crazy Fs. Yes, you are right. Guns are bad. Wait, what? Ours are bad in Nebraska too. I need to make this bigger over here. They just raised them. Nebraska just raised their tax. Dude, I shrunk it down to make room, and now it's just too hard for me to read. I've got old man eyes. Let's jump into Bitcoin though. I'll tell you what I can see. I'll tell you what I can see. I can see these charts and where we're heading. So let's go. I'm gonna fight you. Tradefly, march on the cruise ship. We're getting kicked off the Carnival Cruise Lines. Let's go. Let's jump into this chart, guys. Let's talk about Bitcoin, and I'll show you why I think that we do have a pump coming ahead, but we've got some pain between now and then. Looking here at Bitcoin right now, guys, on the 4-hour, currently we are sitting right now at about 58,500. That is this range that we talked about here on Monday. It's this nice little resistance box here. It was support for us. We came back down through, tested into it, hit that value area right there on the fixed range volume profile, guys. It's the value area low, comes all the way back to here. That is where we got our rejection off of. Ironically enough, also where we are sitting at with that 0.66. That is the golden pocket top. It's sitting there with the 200-day moving average, value area low, golden pocket. Guys, there's a lot of resistance in this area sitting above us. But guess what? We got support coming in too at the 618. It's coming in at about 56,300. That is where we are looking at our support, 300 days sitting right underneath it. Why do I keep saying that we have more pain coming? I know you're sitting there going, Piper, that's you keep talking about all this support. Where are we going? Guys, it's this range down here, okay? We do have this level right here below us. It's where we wick down to. Let me put this on the daily so you can get these clean wicks here. It's where we wick down to on this date here, right here, coming in back here on Monday, August 5th. And that is this volume node right there. That is that bounce that we got. And that is why, I was talking about 52,000 long ago. Okay, it's beer goggles. I need beer. If I had beer, I could see. That's where that 52,000 range was coming from. We talked about that like a month and a half ago. $52,000 Bitcoin coming. We were up in the upper 60s, guys. $70,000 range when I was talking about that. Now I'm talking about this crazy range of 45,000 to 40,000, maybe 41 in that range there. Why? Because that is this entire cluster back here. And if you look at the volume node just coming from here, there's volume right in the middle of this. It's also the 0.382. If we lose this 48,000 right here coming in right there, if we lose that, that is the 50 on the 50 Fibonacci. That is the 50 level in the fibs. If we lose that, we're heading down to this area. If I pull this fixed range volume profile back to include this area of volume here, guys, look at how big the volume node is there inside of this area. And it also becomes the point of control for this entire price action history. That is why I do think that we have more downside coming. Okay. Shout out to Rayanne Shipley. My niece is in the chat. Much love to you, hon. Always got to give her a shout out when she's in here because she's here getting knowledge. The knowledge she gets today will make her so freaking far ahead of her peers in the next 10 years. So shout out to her. Yeah, guys, point of control sitting right down there. That point of control coming in at about $42,850, almost $43,000. Another reason that I keep talking about this level, I do think that we're heading down there. I'm going to kick it over to Tradefly and OC. I want to see what they have on their charts, and then we're going to come back and I want to show you what data I have that gives me the assessment that we are about 45 to 60 days away from another parabolic rally on Bitcoin. So stay tuned for that. Let's kick it over to Tradefly. Let's look at these levels and see what he's seeing on that heat map.
Right on. Yeah, I got the liquidation heat map up only 3 days. So on Crypto Nightcap, if you guys tuned into that, you'll see that we did talk about this area of liquidity down here. And what we were seeing was the price was moving down and there was liquidity. I'm sorry, I pointed to this one. I actually meant this over here. We were looking at this on the chart as there's trending down and right. We're like, hey, it's most likely to clear out the liquidity that's down here. It did. It cleared that out and then it made a little move up and then ultimately broke down, right? But that correlates to some areas on the charts that we'll look at here in a second. As you can see, as it moved up, what happened? They started going leverage long again, thinking that, hey, price was trending up. Well, the maker got his again, came down, cleared this liquidity out, and then we got our next bounce. But this one actually correlated to a significant area that I've been watching on the charts for quite a long time. That kind of coincides with a channel we'll look at here. But now what we see is a trend up. Right? Look at the price action. Price action is clearly trending up and right. Where's the liquidity? Well, it's not down here. It's right here. So for me, short term, I'm actually a little bit bullish, we'll say, in the next 24 hours or so. I think there's an opportunity here to get some of this, to grab some of this liquidity, but we
Let me guess, is
will
that around
see.
63, 62, 63,000?
No, it's actually much closer. It's at about 60K, just under
Okay.
60K. So let's
Okay.
come over to the chart and look at it, and let's see where we have some resistance and where we have some support. So right now, or what we were talking about here was this channel. This is this gray one right here. This goes all the way back to 2020. I've talked about on this show. I've talked about on the nightcap quite a bit, but I was interested in this area right here. So it's about 56K. Now, to be fully transparent, I was looking for this move to happen a little bit later. So I was calling for, I think 56.5, 56.6 was the area I was looking for. It came down there pretty quick, to be honest. So I was looking for a move down and a bounce. And we got that, but we got that pretty quick. Now, when I'm saying the liquidity sitting right here, look at everything that's here. All right. This is the previous support range that we've looked at for a long time on the show as well. That goes all the way back to February. What was support is now resistance. That is why this is now red. So, that being said, and looking at the liquidation heat map, where's liquidity? About 59.9, 59.8, and look where this resistance is, 59.6. All right. So there is an opportunity for price action to come up here and clear out that liquidity and find resistance at the same time. So, just that looking at it, look, you got the dynamic reactor, you got all the moving averages up here. That just screams resistance to me. Now, where are we at currently? All right, this is a lot more, detailed, smaller look at it here. I'm just trying to like, hey, if I'm doing scalping, intraday type stuff, what am I looking at? Well, I come back to the left a little bit and look, you had support breakdown, you had resistance before it actually moved up. This area is actually more significant than probably a lot of people are giving credit to. We came down, we found support here. It was support breakdown, and now we've gotten on top. It looks like we're getting a retest. A lot of times when we talk about that OC retest, we're looking for something kind of like this. This is on the 4 hour where it comes down, retests an area that we're looking at, and then makes that move back up. And then this would be kind of my line in the sand to exit. So if you took this trade where I was talking about 56.5, there's two things you could do right now. One, take your profits because you're up about 3% or 2.5%. Depends if you used any leverage on an intraday or a scalp, or you go ahead and you move up your stop loss to lock in this. You move the stop loss up underneath of this area of support. If it falls down, you got a small win, but it is what it is. And then you ride this thing up to about right around here, about 59, we'll say 59.4, just to get out before the actual rejection. But that's what I'll be looking for in the short term, and just kind of follows on some of the TA I've been doing on the show here at night. So gives you a good reason to tune in and check it out. Like I said, we try to set you guys up for the next day, and that is what I'm looking at for Bitcoin in the short term. I'll pass it over to OC.
OC, what you got for us, bro?
Absolutely. I just want to touch on yesterday's trade that I was in. Remember that I was marking this area because I jumped in. The candle closed right down here because of touching and bouncing off the area of my entrance. What I did is not taking profits at the lower part of the trend line right up here, but instead just moving my stop to entry because I was almost certain, right? And this is what trading is about. I was almost certain that it was going to go to the loud order block. But what trading is about is just acknowledging that we don't know exactly all of the movements in between those things, right? So that's why we move our stop to entry. We prevent for the market to play around us, right? And what happened? Well, that's not Bitcoin. Yeah, that is Bitcoin. So what happened? It went back straight downwards, basically taking me out at not any loss, right? So you're lost. And then going back up into my entry areas. At this point, I'm not going to be looking for an entry. I do see a couple of bullish divergences and a reversal signal here, but still making some lower highs. So at this point, let me just clean this up a little bit so we can start looking at, yep, confirm that. I'm also going to be getting rid of this and drawing a new trend line because we already have a steady 3-point trend line that's coming down right here. So until I start seeing that trend line being broken, and for that, I'm just going to give it a little space in here, right click, add an alert to it, create that alert, and then once again, right click. And remember, guys, always lock your feeds, always lock your drawings. So until I start seeing this trend line being taken and broken, I'm not going to be jumping into any sort of bullish movements there. And also, I mean, I would love to say that this could be a Wyckoff spring, but if we go to the Wyckoff area, I mean, it's not looking that good. In fact, we are kind of like going to a distribution schematic in here, where we're coming from the upside, making that little range, and then making this low, the SOW, right? Before we bounce and continue to the downside. It is for sure. No, it is nothing for sure. But so far, I do see a possibility that we go back into somewhere around 52K, 800 areas so far. Let me just bring up my support and resistances. We haven't lost my area of entry right down here. And how am I going to be trading these guys? All right. So when I start losing this area here, I'm going to be looking for possible shorts, or if I start bouncing off this trend line, I'm also going to be looking for a couple of shorts. At this point, I'm going to be trading this as a range, which means unknown breakout, and I'm going to be longing the bottom and shorting the top. But at this point, since I'm coming back inside the range, I want to just wait slightly, right? Just for a little bit, just to confirm that we are good to go to start taking this trend line. So other than that, I'm just holding, most likely for the majority of this day or throughout the first 8 hours of the morning. I'm going to be just holding, waiting, and seeing how the Bitcoin chart plays out. So other than that, we are pretty stable, let me say, but also not looking that good for the rest of the day.
Yep. And what's your timeline on that distribution of that Wyckoff that you showed there to that downside? What timeline are you talking about for that? Is that the next week, the next month?
No, throughout the weekend.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm thinking we get some downside movement this weekend also. So, all right, guys, let's jump into why I think you just heard everyone's takes on Bitcoin. There's a lot of, I think more downside, maybe a little upside first. Like we all had different perspectives there on the local, but I think that we're all pretty much in agreement that come here in the next about 45 to 60 days, we should see a Bitcoin move to the upside. Are we in agreement on that, Trade Fly, OC?
To the upside? I don't know. We'll see. Man. I like to see how things shake out, man, because sometimes when you break a important support or resistance level,
but if you had to say, based on what we know about Bitcoin, we should in the next 60 days see a move to the upside or the downside. You should be able to look at trends, patterns, history, and go based on what we have seen. Okay, there we go.
If you're a green month kind of guy, then yes, we should be leading into an opportunity for some upside, I'll say.
FD also said you called the NASDAQ rejection and a small Bitcoin pump on the show last night. So shout out to, if you guys aren't checking out the Crypto Nightcap show with FD White and Tradefly, you guys are missing it every night right here. It is at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I always got to translate it out of my Mountain Standard Time over here in El Paso. Okay, guys, here are the reasons that I think that Bitcoin is set to rally in the next 60 days. We're going to jump into it here and follow along with me because I got a lot of little charts to show you. And we're going to try to keep this at about where it can be clipped down to 60 seconds for a short. So let's get it. Here's the reasons why. Guys, looking right here at this chart, this is a historical Bitcoin chart. It says consolidation, post-halving history of Bitcoin. You can see here it consolidated for 170 days before the breakout in 2016. 2020, it consolidated for 168 days before the breakout. And then in 2024, it's consolidating as of right now, 129 days. If history is anything else to go by, Bitcoin will consolidate for about 35 to 40 days more before the big breakout. I think it's a little bit longer than that, but that is one piece there. Just looking at this chart, an average 35 to 40 days is what they're saying here until we get this trend to play out like normal. It plays out, consolidation to the upside, okay? Let's go look at another piece of data here. This is from Rect Capital. Rect Capital says, as of right now, we are only 42.5% of the way through the bull market, meaning that we haven't even hit the halfway mark of this bull market run. Okay, keep that in mind. The progress bar is based on the standard halving cycles. Well, what's the other half look like? Historically, looking here at another piece of data from Rect Capital, he talks about these accumulation periods. Guys, who's been buying right now? It's been all the institutions. They are buying up massive amounts of Bitcoin. We've seen the inflows on Ethereum, the inflows on Bitcoin. It is happening right now as we speak. They are buying up this stuff. Why are they doing that? Because there's accumulation areas underneath these deviations every single cycle. We just had a third one for this cycle, okay? And this has continued to be the case. Over the past 2 months, Bitcoin has had 2 downside deviations below that range low. This is the best bargain buying opportunity for Bitcoin, and there's still these very brief downside moves below that deviation. That is what we keep seeing. You might have one more coming, and that's what we keep talking about here with those lower lows there. One last piece here, guys, and then we'll look over at this last. I want to look at this last. Let's jump to here. We do have the Eric Wallen chart. Shout out to Eric Wallen. Guys, we have never broken in the entire history of Bitcoin. We have never broke the 786. That is this diagonal blue line here on this chart. Oh, whoa. What are you doing, sir? We don't need you. We don't need you at all. I need that. Thank you. We have this blue line that is the 786. It is the platinum pocket on this channel. Let's go ahead and bring this down so you guys can see the entire history of Bitcoin here in case you've never seen this chart. If you're a regular here, if you're an alumni, you know this chart. But look in here, guys. Never, ever have come close to breaking it. This is how I was able to make calls back in 2023 saying, look, we're going to move up here. I know you guys think we got a bottom. We're not going to break the 786. Never have. Okay. We broke the golden pocket. Platinum pocket's going to hold. And then we came into it here. I said, look, I was on Debate Crypto with Crypto Keeper and Blockchain Crusader. And I said, look, we're not going to break this. We're going to pump again. Both times. Well, we're closing in on that again. And if we look at how long we have here on this, let me go over and grab this date timeline here. There is in there. There it is. Date range. Go from where we are right now. Even if we stay down at this level, if we figure that it's going to be around 50,000, 53,000, somewhere in there, guys, it gives us about 77 days. That's why I said I think it's a little bit longer, but we have about 77 days before these current lows that we are talking about hit into the 786. There's another reason. Another reason here, let's go into the Gaussian channel and take a look at what's happened historically with Bitcoin right after the halving. These yellow lines, these are the halvings. We get a green, we get a capitulation of the miners. It goes into buy on the miners. They say it's timed, it's ready. And we do not break through and we do not break in and through the Gaussian channel at all. It just pumps up, okay? This is back in 2016. Let's look at the last cycle. Right after the halving, we get another one. It comes in, breaks out, retest on there. We get another one later on in the cycle where it retests that Gaussian channel. Another one where it retests that Gaussian channel. Gaussian channel given a very strong bounce level. Guys, look what we just almost did. And if we come down to those levels that we're talking about, it's going to hit and retest the Gaussian channel again. This is going to give another one. We had that sell-off of capitulation of the miners. The buy signal has triggered, and the Gaussian channel is giving us that support range that it always have historically for support to the upside moves. That is in there. Now, let's get into some crazy hopium, and this is your final piece of data before I bring it back to the gang. Look in here, guys. This is done from AO. This is Aurelian Ohayon on X on Twitter. Go follow him. He's got good stuff here. But he talks about these consolidation periods of parabolas, and you're going to love this, OC, because it's right up your alley. He runs these cycle after cycle, and the percentage gives the bear, the bull, and the consolidation period. You can see the consolidation periods are in yellow on here. Okay. We just had that. He now says that we are out of that bear cycle of consolidation into the bull cycle. Based on the parabola, guys, he gives us a target of $320,000. I think it's closer to about $200,000, but this has been a repeat of every single cycle fitting to the math, the geometry, it's all there. And we have chart after chart after chart after chart showing you guys that we've got really maybe max 90 days. The last piece that I'm going to show over here, right there, this one. This is the one, guys. Take a look here. It is the this is the monthly returns, and you can see here every single cycle. Let me get rid of my face here. Let's go over here. I know you're not on this chart, TradeFly. I apologize, but let me get you on there. I didn't set this one up. My bad. There you go. Trade flies in the house.
Gold.
Taking a look at the Bitcoin monthly returns, guys, you can see here on the 4-year cycle, October, November's. We talked about this on July 31st and August 1st. I said red months, bloody months are coming. August, September are going to be bad. That's where we've doubled down on that $52,000 target, possibly 48,000. And then I even went as far as 43,000. Okay. That is why we called this, because if you look here at August and September, look at all the red every 4 years. 2020, 2021 here, we had green in August, but red in September, right? Sir, can you back off? Can you back off, please? Thank you. There we go. Go back in history here, 2016. You can see that that reds, like a lot of, when we have a red July, we have a red August. And if we have a red August with bad economic data, we go into a lot of red Septembers, typically in the median average, 4.78%. Look at October, November, though. That's right in that line of what we're talking about on that time chart, that time frame of 70, 90 days, somewhere in there. Guys, we're going to be right there in October, November. Average moves on those combined, almost 70% to the upside on average just for Bitcoin. Altcoin's going to absolutely run parabolic on that. Okay, I know that's longer than a minute, but TradeFly at OC, thoughts on this? I think I laid out a ton of data that says it may not rhyme, it may not repeat, but it definitely rhymes, right? And we are seeing, even right now, when everyone's talking about how far down we are, we're still in line with typical pullbacks on Bitcoin, and we're only halfway through this bull run. I don't think it's over, and all the people that are saying bull run over, I think they could not be more wrong. Thoughts on that, TradeFly and OC?
Yeah, no, I mean, you pulled a lot of evidence up. Well done, sir. Good presentation. Yeah, we just gotta keep an eye on it, because one of the things like that, remember the stock to flow model where Plan
Yep.
B was like, he was huge, right? And everybody's like, it's going to 100K Bitcoin. Well, what happened? My man changed
People
his
people
he changed
people
his chart.
operated people operated on single source data. That's called a
Yeah.
single source informant. You don't operate on that.
So I mean, I think I'm gonna be. This is my personal opinion. 300 some thousand for Bitcoin that quickly is quite a bit aggressive,
Yeah,
and I think this
I don't think
guy
that number's
is
right either. I just wanted to show that $360,000
yeah.
on that guy's parabola
This
chart.
so this is gonna get this man. He's gonna get some clicks. He's gonna get popular probably based on that chart, just because the aggressive call. Good job. Congratulations, you did it. But that's what's going to happen to your chart. All right. So that being said, the Gaussian channel, I love that one. All right. On the weekly, it has hit very, very often. It's been historically, it's just been accurate throughout the life of Bitcoin. I do like that one a lot, and I do have some faith in that. So to present that in conjunction with some green months ahead, yes, like that gives me some hopium, and I do think we can make a move up, and I really think that we can go, test that all-time high again, probably in the next couple months. I think that's very, very realistic and within reason. But you guys know where I think it's going. And, I'm still looking at about the 88 to, I've moved it up a little bit to about the 100K mark. I think that 100K mark is going to be a psychological number for retail. And I think a lot of people will take profits at that point, which will ultimately bring the price down before you see it go back up. So understand, it's going to be in waves. We can't be a straight shot all the way up to 300K or to the magic 500K for OC. But, I just, I'm trying to be realistic and keep it within reason. I do think by the end of next year, somewhere between 88 to 100K is in play. So that's my
Can I
thoughts on it.
can I get some props though from the alumni that I did not put $360,000 Bitcoin locked in on the thumbnail. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Hey, real talk, you should have. All right, you should have, because that's how you get people to click the thumbnails, and we need
I
to bring
know, but
people in.
I
TV
would rather
timeout.
operate on data, not, one single clickbait thing. Like I even don't, if I don't believe it myself, I can't sell that to the alumni, man. I can't do that.
Yeah.
So
Well, Piper's a good dude. He's a good dude, man. I mean, we have the same generic thumbnail because I'm tired and lazy for Crypto Nightcap every night. But what was I gonna say, man? I had something on the tip of my tongue. Damn, you made me forget. You got me. You
I
got
don't
me
know.
sidetracked.
OC, you got any thoughts on that data for Bitcoin? If not, we're going to head into alts. We got time to run about one, maybe two each.
Absolutely. Let me do first a quick movement here just to move away from the bullet from TradeFlight. And then if we can come back into my charts very quick. Yeah, they were like zooming by, they're like whistling by. All right, just a little bit of what that video that he was talking about is all about. This is what I was looking at, right? So that's why Piper also said that was around my alley, because of how he divided the grid and also use a couple of cycles or circles to measure this parabola. I did a little bit different here and just went for a radial calculation for a triangle, right? Just so you know, I love triangles. That is my thing. And come on. What a noob. I called for 50K, right? So, I mean, of course, this is a kind of like a joke. That's what this is what my highest calculation was giving me. Nonetheless, just like TradeFlight mentioned, and I'm up with him. This is just the wildest one, and I just wanted to share it. I will absolutely not be just aiming just solely to this analysis. I will be taking it day on day. And yeah, very quick, something that is happening in the markets that might be kind of in line with it. It is the movement of gold going up. We are trying to also keep momentum going up with copper and aluminum. So that kind of like give us the basis for start seeing Bitcoin pumping. And why is that? Because if for some reason we can start breaking above the dynamic reactor, that means that assets like aluminum and gold and copper, aluminum and copper, which are used in construction and many other industries, they are doing okay, right? They have been bought regularly, and also they're being also scarce, which means that we might have a solid grounds for the rest of the people to enjoy it out of a little bit more stable economy, and then maybe start looking at rate cuts and then pushing into Bitcoin pumping. So do I see maybe this upcoming month being a great month? Yes, I've been talking also about this, and I also mentioned that it is only speculation, but we're still seeing the grounds of this, right? The only thing that I want to add, it is gold. It's kind of a little bit worrying for me because of the pattern that is making here with a little parabola down here, which tells me that we are kind of like a running away, or somebody's just running away from the US dollar into gold. But usually rising wedge tends to break to the downside. So as long as we keep ourselves above let me just bring up here my support and resistances above the 2000 or 2K area, we're still fine. It's not time to panic, and we will have that solid base for Bitcoin or platform to Bitcoin to start launching upwards into the next upcoming months. So hopefully we don't have a big of a retracement, and that's what I got on Bitcoin, on everything surrounding Bitcoin.
Awesome. Appreciate it, man. We got a request for Aerodrome, and the shout out to TradeFly. He got me a dark fear and greed index. So much love. So from now on, I will not burn your retinas, people. That's probably why I can't see. I was staring at that this morning going, go to extreme fear already. And I was looking at it too long. The whiteness burnt my retina. So let's get into Arrow. Who's going to do Arrow? Which one of you guys want Arrow?
I got AVAX.
I already had it pulled up. Oh, perfect.
You got what, TradeFly?
AVAX.
So let's jump over. Let's go to OC. Let him run Arrow. We'll come around, do your AVAX. I'll take a look at Caspa, and we'll see where that's at, and then we'll see where we're at on time.
Absolutely. So Arrow, we need to talk about Arrow a little bit farther ahead, because we already have a couple of two main movements here where they actually played out very nicely, but it's time to start looking at daily. Why? Because on daily we do have a little bit of and I would say that I know I'm pushing this with this wicking here, but I think that we are starting to form this symmetrical triangle along with this channel down here, right? So this is going to be important for the next bounce to the downside. And why am I expecting maybe a bounce to the downside, not just right out a breakthrough? It is because it's how the oscillator is flipping down below here, right? I mean, we still are on market prophecy dumps. I want to see first this one changing, but most likely we're going to be seeing this one after a breakout to the upside. So remember, alerts are always a great or a big part of my analysis. So what I'm going to be doing, just giving a little bit of spacing here. Again, once again, locking this trend line and adding an alert to it, so it alerts me once we start piercing through that trend line, right? But other than that, I will be most likely expecting a further running down through this or to this target right here, somewhere around 0.51 cents. And then maybe after that, making a higher low on the oscillator in here, right? And then, of course, making a divergence like we have seen here. And after we see this movement, the same pattern that I'm looking at here, we can start looking for maybe that trend line breakout. What was that trend line breakout? I mean, I think this is a little bit pushing it, but as you can see, this is what I'm expecting: a big body kind of going through that trend line, going for then the retest, and then making that move to the dynamic reactor on daily. On the 4 hours, which is closer, let's just take a look at here. It is basically the same thing, right? We're waiting for that pivot that will indicate us that we are making a higher low, and after that higher low we can start talking about a possible breakout. And as you can see, this trend line also coexists right there on the same area with that dynamic reactor, so we can see that it is a big area of resistance. And talking about that support, it's not only the trend line that we have. Remember, confluence, guys, that is the name of the game. We also are right there with the center of this loud order block. So I am expecting it, if we break down or if we go visit lower areas, to hold at once again 0.52 area of support. So that's what I have on an arrow. Turning back to you guys.
Awesome. And also, shout out to Trade Intuition. If you guys don't know, he's been dropping some trade setups that I've been keeping an eye on here in our Discord. This is under the members channel. It says trading group. So if you are an alumni member, he's dropping some fire trade setups in here. He just did one on APT overnight last night, and it is actually playing out really, really well. So guys, if you guys are members, if you're alumni, go jump into the trade group and take a look there. Plus, Crux doing a lot of work in the Discord to make everything better for you guys. So let's jump over to TradeFly, see what you got there, bro.
All right, let's look at AVAX on the daily. So we did talk about this previously. We had a head and shoulders, we'll say looking formation here. That did come down underneath of this support level here, but I do like to find the local support relative to where you'll see those measured moves, right? So that is why I'm kind of looking at this area. I don't know if you guys did watch a show where my daughter did make a call of up. I actually made about $130 on that trade, so did win that one. We got a nice little bounce up right underneath of this resistance area at about 22,765. All right, so what am I looking at right now? AVAX is now pulled back, and the reason I have the daily up is because I want you to see where there's support and resistance. I want you guys zoom out, look at it, find it, right? You can find this range right here. This is pretty easy. Support's down here. You can see it, and you can see resistance up here at about 765. So we're now at an area of support, and that's about 19.9 or so. We're testing that area. What do? I come down here and I look at the RSI or the prime oscillator to see which way are we trending. Right now, we are still trending up. It does look like it wants to bend over, but that's not all that big a deal for me, because what you're going to see right here is, even if it does bend over, you're probably going to see something that looks like that. All right, so I'm kind of looking for a trend that goes up and right. You can go to a smaller time frame and look for it there as well, on the 4 hour, 1 hour, if you would like. But that's not really my concern with this right now. And I'll say, like, overall, this doesn't look great. Okay, the trend is down and right. There's no doubt about it. This would be a risky entry, but for me, it's one I am going to take. All right, so right here where I'm at time now, and understand I'm lathering into this, is I'm going to put some capital in right here where we're at. All right, at 19.9 or so. By the time I get off the show, it may be a little bit different, but I'm looking at an entry right here. Okay, and then if it pulls back down, I'm going to take another entry. So I'm going to DCA into this a little bit. And, ultimately, I think that AVAX will go back up here. Okay. So again, I'll lower my entry by lathering in down here as well. But I think that there's a definitive possibility that we push back up to 22 at some point, just so you can put that in perspective. What kind of move is that? Oh, stop drawing things here. What kind of move is that just from where we're at? Let's measure that out. That's about a 13% move. I'm totally cool with that. So I'm not going to use leverage on this first buy though. So let me be transparent there. And that's only because I feel as though this is a little bit more high risk just based on the momentum right now. If you're looking at this on the daily, is very clearly showing you, the momentum is to the downside here. You can see a series of lower highs. Again, it's a little risky, but we are technically getting the retest, right? We're getting the retest with the RSI trending up or the prime oscillator trending up. So I will be looking for something like that. This could blow up in my face, but no big deal. I am interested. Do your own research. Up to you how you want to play the game here. You can put a tight stop loss. If you're looking at where the closes are, I wouldn't look at the wick. I look where the closes are, and you can put something just underneath of it, somewhere around, I would say, about 19 or so. And so that would protect you if it's just a small move, intraday scalping type deal. But again, that's up to you how you want to play it. I personally am going to kind of lather in. So I'm going to buy here. I'm going to buy here if it does make it down here. And I'm looking for a move up to here. This will be my exit at about 22.7. Not looking for any crazy move up, way up. Again, if I'm looking for this, this is my exit and we break through, no big deal, because then I'll be looking for the OC retest so we can take this and we can move it up here. Well, that's actually two different ones, but we'll look for it, something like that up there. All right, so exit here, and then if it breaks, cool. I'll look for that retest. Hopefully you still have strength going up and right, and then I can get back in if I want. But that's what I'm looking at on AVAX. Nice little, we'll say, trade setup, short-term thing for you guys to look at. So again, do your own research. It's just what I'm doing. Don't get crazy, and then hit me up in Discord if you got more questions.
Awesome. I'm gonna run through CAS and Ethereum super quick, and that'll be the wrap up for the show. But I want to show you guys where we're sitting on those. Looking here at CASPA, guys. We are sitting right here in the nice little wedge pattern. Shout out to Trader Intuition. He loves those things. Here right now, we are sitting above the phase 8 golden pocket, the 8.618 right there, sitting at about 16.1 cents. We are fighting with this dash red line. This dash red line is the point of control on the daily here, guys. Value area low is going to be sitting down here. That's why there's nothing here for as far as like red blocks there, because yes, it has been previous support. Yes, it is the phase 7 golden pocket, but I think that if we do not hold this level and we go to the downside, we could be looking at the value area low down here at the phase 6 golden pocket, 12.8 cents. Okay. However, when I take a look down here at the oscillator Pro Plus, I'm seeing a couple of things. Excuse me. One, look how low the true 7 is getting. This is like the levels back here. If I bring that in and you see what that was this area down here before it pumped up. We're really low here on the true 7. I would like to see the true 7 here. This indicator runs about 7 different pieces of data to run its algorithm on. And when it starts to get really, really bullish, it turns like this more bold red color. Okay. Just like it turns this more bold green color. If we go back and we look at that bold green, that was the top there. Look at that bold red. It did come down for a little bit further and then it ran to the upside. I'd like to see that happen down here. I think that we're about to see a move to the upside sometime next week on CASPA. Here's why. We got that coming in a little bit lower here, starting to finish out. The volume does look like it's starting to curve here again on the volume matrix. Money flow is sitting here and it is creating this nice little divergence of action, right? So I think that we're going to see this start to move to the upside. We got the transition color here on the ribbon, which typically also means that we're doing that. Plus, we're getting really bright red on the trend, the bear power bar, okay? Typically, when all of these start to fire like this, it means that we are not far off from a move to the upside. I do think that we're going to see that coming up next week sometime and get a breakout from here. But don't be surprised if we do wick down before we come back up to that. So it is looking very poised. And that would give us that one more pull down here that I was talking about on the true 7 to go red. And then let's jump over to Ethereum. Let's talk about this. We did have this breakout on the pattern that we talked about last Friday, I believe it was. And we did, I'm drawing all over the charts. We did break out of that. We are heading for more downside here. I do have an entry in at 2,500. I think we're going to go down and touch that level. It was the previous levels back here, previous resistance back here. So I am going to be watching for that. It does look like right now we do have the curvature coming on the ribbon here. And the money flow is starting to come down red, guys. Ethereum, I think, is going to have quite a bit of sell-off in the next week as Caspa is moving to the upside. And that's what I'm watching there on Caspa and on Ethereum. Let's jump over here. Guys, that was a quick run through on 2 TAs. It is the bottom of the hour. We have made it to 8:30. I don't know. We may have to either do less education of the economy or a longer show. I don't know what we're going to do, man. It's we got to figure out something. So we are running pretty tight here and not getting a lot of TA, or we just might have to do more TA like on an afternoon show. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? Afternoon show with Piper. I don't know. We'll see. Tradefly OC, what do you got for the people on the way out, man?
Hey, as always, it's great mixing up with you guys. Love being here. Love being on the show. Love talking to you guys in the chat. Thank you so much for those that are regulars, and thank you for those that are just tuning in for the first time. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Go ahead, give us a like and subscribe. We would truly, truly appreciate that. And I hope all of you have a great weekend.
OC, what you got, man?
Guys, thank you so much for joining. Piper, maybe we can run that poll on the Discord to see what would the alumni would like to see on the channel. Maybe what would the direction be we could be taking. Maybe they can also give us some ideas. And other than that, guys, thank you so much for joining. Today, I'm just gonna keep it simple. Just a quick reminder: click that like button. We really appreciate you being here. We always try to give our best of the day for you guys, to keep you informed, to keep you prepared, and just go ahead and enjoy that Friday. If you are able to take your wife today out to dinner, take yourself and give you a treat, just enjoy life, be just a slightly more happy today, and make it work for yourself. Other than that, turn it back to you, Piper.
Awesome. And guys, make sure that you guys follow us right here. All of our links on Twitter, on X right there. You can follow all of us there. And we put out stuff throughout the day on there also, man. If you guys are new here, shout out to you. We appreciate you guys. Welcome to the Academy. We are happy to have you as part of the alumni. And we will be back here actually Sunday, I'm going to be here for Chart and Chill with ZTS Rhythm. And then we'll be back here on Rhythm. That's right. And then we'll be back here Monday morning for the morning market report, guys. If I see anything big and you're following me on X, you'll get that info there. And I will let you guys know what I'm seeing and what's going on. But remember, we do think there is some downside coming this weekend. So if I'm wrong, pump my bags. If I'm right, you guys were warned. So it's a win-win, right? We'll catch you guys then. Thanks for joining us today on Piper Academy Morning Market Report. Until next time, guys, trade safe. And as always, use a stop loss.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after the wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, former Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Chart Prime, then you will part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low. Sound off to get rhythm, the ZTS rhythm. Alexandra.